All three of these magpies start out the same, so it's the same drawing stuck on. In this case, I put a box around it and I've made sure the box is square, even if the paper isn't. And I've gone with the veiner all the way around exactly as before. So I've done this, and now I'll take the paper off and we'll see what we've got. Here's the finished carving. It's all very samey, so what I'm going to do is texture this background to make the bird stand out. I'm not going to touch the bird at all. Now, for texturing, you can do whatever you like, the sky's the limit, but you must do some sort of little practice board first. So this is a similar piece of wood, and this is where I've been playing. I've used different punches, I've tried the stain that I want to use, I've tried overpainting and so on. Do something like this, get a sense of what you want, and then you're ready to go into the board itself. The first thing I've done is to take very fine sandpaper, 320, and rub the surface, because the stain I'm going to put in will only come in lightly on the side grain, but when I've textured this background, that'll be a bit darker. So I'll wipe over, make sure that's nice and smooth, brush it off, then I'm ready to start frosting. And my plan is to do something in here, something a bit more interesting that the bird's looking at. But to begin with, I'm going to go round the outside and the whole of the bird with this froster. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to angle it slightly like that, so that instead of being straight down, this one is slightly angled into the groove. So the edge of the tool goes into there like that. And move it along. So it's quite laborious. Like that. I'm going to go all the way around here, and the bird I'll be angling this way. Not too much. So here's a bird after our first go round like this. You don't have to do this. You can texture the whole thing in a different way. But I like the sort of energy it sort of gives to the design. Notice also that I've gone round with the eye here. I've made the eye a little different. I rather like that. So I'm going to keep that in the design. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to create a sort of little sun pattern here. So I'm going to take a coin and arrange it somewhere that looks okay, I think. Somewhere about here, right in the middle of this dead space. I go around with my pencil. And this time I'm going to get my punch and I'm going to set it round here. And then I'm going to go round and round and round and sort of spread across the whole of the carving like that. That's the plan. So this first one I'll tilt at an angle again, because that gives us a hard edge, just as it has here. So I go around like this. There it is. You could leave it like this. I really like the way you get this sort of irregularity in the punching, I think that gives it a lot of energy. So you could leave it like this, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to stain the whole thing. I'm going to give the frosted background a wipe like this with this very fine sandpaper again. Get rid of anything that's standing up. Then I've got a basic red stain. I mean, you couldn't get simpler than that. So this is a generic red wood dye, which is what I'm going to use to stain the wood. So I'm going to brush this on, like so. And you can see, I think, fairly readily that the background here is going to soak up more than this surface. This surface is going to be quite light relatively. So brushing this all on. And making sure that I actually get the stain into these little dimples here. That's really important that we don't leave any bare wood in that. So make sure that goes in. So we'll push this all over and then we'll let it all go dry. So I'm putting quite a lot in this stipple surface, really make sure that soaks in. That's really well stained. A bit there, into all the grooves. And then I'm just going to wipe a bit of excess off this bird, like this. And I shall leave that to dry and do something with it when it's finished. The dye has all dried, looks good. So one thing we can do is we can take a little bit of our very fine sandpaper and we can knock back some of that colour. We can just rub this part a little bit all the way around, and including the bird itself. And what that will do is it will make these lines stand out a little more. So I'll just do that and see what that looks like. So I think you can see already that it's a little bit lighter, just a little bit. So you could, when you've done this, you could leave it just like this with a different toned background and a lighter bird. Or you're going to do what I'm going to do, and that is to add some colour onto this. But let me just finish this first. I'll see what this looks like. See the colour coming off here. I think you can see it's quite significantly different, and you could sand that even a little bit further and get a little bit more of the wood showing through. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to take another colour and put it on the surface here, so it's just on the surface and not into the little grooves, little dimples all the way over, and get a sort of second effect around here. I'm going to use this, which is a gouache paint, a water-based gouache. This is gold, and I'm going to put the gold all over here. So I tried various ways of putting this gouache on, one of which was just with a brush like so, and I think this can work quite well. So what I'm trying to do is just skim across the surface, fairly dry, no water, like so. But there is a tendency for there to be thicker bits and thinner bits. Another thing I tried was a cork stuck, bottle, a wine cork with a bit of cotton over it like this, so. That wasn't too successful. And the last thing I tried was actually a little bit of a washing up dish sponge with the hard pad there. So I found that fairly good for putting on like so. So between the two of them, I'm going to use my brush for a little bit. I'm going to get this background as neatly as I can, just wiped over. And it is a wipe. And it probably doesn't matter that it's not terribly even, because the frosting underneath isn't very even. There we go. I've tried to get a sort of uniform sense across the piece, so that even though some bits are actually, the dimples are filled and some places are not, you get a sort of overall sense that it's similarly coloured. I've left the sun like this, but Carrie has asked me whether or not I'd consider painting this in gold. And so this would be finished if we didn't do anything, but what we could do is I can get a bit of paper, paint it gold, and I can put it on there and I can get a sense of what's going on. And I like this as well. So what I'm going to do is paint the sun, or this little circle here, gold. And here we go. So this can be properly painted. You still get this radiating effect. It's entirely up to you if you want to leave it or give it another colour. So I'll just finish off like this. Another thing you might consider, having done that, is to paint the eye here. I'm not going to do it, but similarly you can make a little circle and pop it on there and see what it looks like. But with that, the carving's finished. I think what I want to do is put some UV varnish. This is a painter's varnish that I use for oil paints. I'll put some notes in the download, and it's got an ultraviolet filter on it that will keep this colour from fading in the sunlight very much. But there it is. I don't know what you call this. Our Celtic Magpie.